Hello, friends. Pardon the mask. My husband has COVID and I feel fine and tested negative, and I don't want it. Seriously, guys, I don't want it. So, I come to you today. About 2 years ago, I attempted to make a coat for myself out of upholstery scrap fabric that I acquired from a previous job. There was nothing wrong with the coat, but it was just comically large on me. So I sold it on Posh, because there's nothing wrong with it. Recently, the lady who bought the coat contacted me to ask if I could make her another one. I said yes. So this is a collaboration. It was her idea to use vintage blankets. This is brilliant! Why didn't I think of that? Full disclosure, this is a vintage sewing pattern, not my original design. So, let's get to it. The first one has arrived. The 2 blankets have arrived. Here they are. This one is not as orange as I expected, but I think they're gonna look nice together. This is so long, it's like extending into the hallway. Guys, this is only wide enough for like a twin bed. But seriously? Editing Laura here. The reason that the blanket is so long is because it's a camp blanket and it is intended to wrap over and underneath the body in order to prevent the ground from taking the body's heat. This blanket must have been for someone who's like 8 feet tall. Which ain't a bad thing. It means we have plenty of fabric to work with. I'm thinking it might look best if I did this horizontal motif. If I put that across the chest, like maybe from the sleeve area across the chest here, rather than at the bottom, because the bottom being a swing coat would have it going sort of on a diagonal, and that would be kind of funny looking. Whereas if we had it across the front, then it would be nice and horizontal, the way that it was intended. If we are respecting the grain lines, then I think this is how it's gonna have to orient. So I'll have the stripe going across the chest, and then there'll also be one going across the hood, which I like. And then I'll have to put the back up there, and down here we'll put the sleeves. I think before I actually pin the pattern to the fabric, I think I should pin the fabric together so that the motifs are in the same spot on both sides of the piece. That would look so stupid if they were like slightly crooked. So let's not do that. Let's make sure that they're nice and perfect and even. Look, somebody hand sewed the tag partially back onto the blanket. And now I'm gonna take it off. Sewing it together. So this, where this sticks out a little bit, that's where the pocket bag attaches. And what I really like about this pattern is that it's got such a wide seam allowance on the jacket side, but on the pocket it's only got like a little 3/8. So that way when I sew this at 3/8 over here, we fold it back, there's actually a little bit of space between where it's actually going to fold into the jacket. That way there's a little bit less of a possibility that the pocket will show on the outside, which I generally prefer, although I am definitely a big fan of the printed fabric here. I think that's a very nice touch, even though generally when people see you out and about wearing your jacket, they don't see the inside, but you know it's there. I top stitched the edge of the pockets where the seam is with the body of the coat, mostly because I wanted it to sit down nicely and not be weird. Now I pinned the pockets together exactly where I want them, and I'm starting sewing there to make sure that they line up nice and perfectly and don't get all skewed and weird. So I'm gonna stitch this and then do the same thing on the other side. Like I said, I wanted the pocket bag to line up nice and perfectly, and there it does. And like I said, I edge stitched it on here. Of course, y'all know I am a stickler for pressing. Now I'm constructing the sleeve. Story time! So, many years ago, before I met my husband, the gentleman that I was dating stopped at an estate sale on his way home from work and bought a giant box of crafting supplies, which he gave to me. I still have some of them, even though it was over a decade ago. And that includes this thread. So this thread is previously some old dead ladies. Isn't that exciting? So it's like vintage on vintage. Now I'm sewing the sleeves into the arm's eye. I got the shoulder seams and the seam on the sleeve pinned together. Make sure that they line up nicely, and I got pins in here. Make sure things are all lined up, good looking. I have begun the contrast. So this particular piece here is the contrast that goes on the inside of the sleeve. It's sort of like a cuff. This is the front lapel. This will actually be on the inside for the jacket, but this is where I decided to sew all of these tags. This one is from this salmon colored blanket, and this one is from the outer pink blanket. This one is from the lining, and this one's mine. The tags found on garments and other Home Goods, etc., can often be used to date vintage items. And while I didn't find a lot of information about these blankets in particular, I can tell you that this is the absolute last tag I have of my own brand. Thus, you know that if you have a tag that looks like that, you have a garment that was made between 2017 and January of 2023. Now I'm sewing together the lining of the sleeve. Traditionally, linings have been made of something that is generally very slippery, satiny, and I don't really know why. I decided to Google it, and there really isn't any information about it other than that lining your stuff generally makes it more posh, high-end, I guess, and that it can help keep your fashion fabrics cleaner, I guess, in that you're not getting like body oils on them, but also body oils aren't really a big issue in a coat when you're likely wearing something else underneath of it. So my best guess in the reason that lining fabrics are typically slinky, satiny fabrics is so that they more easily slide over whatever you're currently wearing underneath. Like if you got a sweater on, you wouldn't want like something that's gonna make it big and pilly, I guess, inside the sleeve. But I don't think that's gonna be terribly much of an issue in this case, because there are in fact garments that are lined with flannel. Flannel lined jeans are quite popular in places where it's cold a lot. In fact, my husband owns 2 pairs of them. I would own them, except that I have not yet found any that fit my shape. So, I might have to make some flannel lined pants at some point. But, here we are, making a flannel lining for a blanket coat. No, serging is not cheating. It's just the most practical way to cover the edge. Yeah, I'm pinning in the lining and the body together. So exciting. Now, I'm taking the seam allowances at the back of the neck after I've turned it right side out, and I'm pinning them together so that I can stitch them. This is a lot of material here. I might have to hand stitch this. Alrighty, so I got it on the dress form. I am really close to done. I have to go get some snaps. I wish they had ones that were not black, but I guess black is good. What I've got here is I put pins in it to make sure that the bottom lines up, so I know like where to put the snaps to make sure that it's not like, I don't know, uneven at the bottom and whatnot. And I'm probably going to go over this with a steamer. Much the way that I would use tailor's tacks, tailor's marking, whatever it's called. I can never remember the proper word. I should like Google that. Define tailor's marks.
Here is some information about Taylor Marks. Serving a life sentence for the brutal stabbing of her own mother, Taylor Marks discusses the murder on camera for the first time ever.
That wasn't what I meant. Tailor's tacks, that's what it's called. A basting stitch taken with a double thread through pieces of fabric and then cut apart with large loops being left in each piece for marking seam lines and perforations. Find out what it is. But yeah, I'm doing that again now so that I get the snaps in exactly the right place. Don't worry about the teal thread. I will take that out after I'm done putting the snaps on. Let's see. Feeling inside for the edge of the under layer. And there it is. Alright. Now I can snip those apart after I take the pins out. So, as you can see, markings there. So I can make sure that I got the snaps in the exact right spot. Yeah, I am outside of my apartment. It snowed. Perfect backdrop for this cover. Yeah. I am so excited I finished. I hope she likes it. Oh yeah, it's got pockets.